You are listening to Christian Audio's production of How Should I Think About Money by R.C. Sproul. This book is read by Bob Souer. This audio recording was produced in 2016 by Christian Audio, which owns the copyright. No portion of this recording may be reproduced for any reason without prior written consent from Christian Audio. This edition, issued by contractual arrangement with Reformation Trust Publishing, a division of Ligonier Ministries. Originally published in English as How Should I Think About Money, copyright 2016 by R.C. Sproul, all rights reserved. Please visit ChristianAudio.com, Facebook.com/ChristianAudio, or Twitter.com/ChristianAudio to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles. Chapter 1. Taking Care of Our House. We all appreciate words of commendation from those we serve, our coaches, bosses, or others in positions of authority. This desire for commendation reaches its apex when it comes to our greatest authority, our Lord and King, Jesus Christ. A word of commendation from Christ is the ultimate commendation for our servanthood. Every Christian longs to hear a certain phrase at the end of his life, words that will come from the mouth of Christ. Well done, good and faithful servant. The concept in the New Testament that describes and defines what it means to be a servant before Christ is the word stewardship. In these pages, we will explore this idea. There is a link between the biblical concept of stewardship and the academic discipline of economics, which will also be addressed. Economics and the ethical and emotional issues that surround it are frequent topics of discussion and front-page news items. This is particularly true in an election year, when much of the debate focuses on economic issues. What we don't see initially is that other issues, such as education and abortion, are also questions of economics. Broadly understood, economics has to do not only with money or taxes or business, but with the management of resources. That includes all of our resources, such as the resource of our unborn children and educational materials and policies. In other words, how we use our resources is the subject of economics, and in a biblical sense, it is the chief concern of stewardship. Consider the verbal link between stewardship and economics. The English word economics and economy come from the Greek word oikonomia, which is made up of two parts, oikos, the word for house or household, and nomos, the word for law. So oikos and nomos together literally mean house law. Oikonomia is transliterated into English as economy. The English word that translates rather than transliterates the word oikonomia is the English word stewardship. So stewardship and economics are closely related concepts, and in fact to a New Testament Christian there was no distinction between them. A steward in the ancient world was a person who was given the responsibility and authority to rule over the affairs of the household. For example, the patriarch Joseph became a steward over Potiphar's household. He managed everything in the household and was given the authority to rule over the house. Genesis 39, 1-6a. In that role, he was responsible to manage the household well. He was not to waste the resources of the family, but to make wise decisions. Yet, the role of the steward was not something that just happened to emerge in the Greek system of management, nor was it something invented by the Egyptians in the time of Joseph. The steward's role derives from the principle of stewardship, which is rooted in the creation of mankind. Look at the foundations for stewardship found in the early chapters of Genesis. In Genesis 1:26-28 we read, "Then God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. On the very first page of the Bible we see the creation of human beings, made in the image of God, who revealed himself initially as the creator of all things, and the subsequent call of his image-bearers to imitate him in a certain way, by being
Sample complete. Ready to continue?